Howdy, Possum Patty and little Pixie here, and we're just back from the Connecticut Renaissance Fair. Yepers, we were there most of the day. We're a little tired right now. Pixie's gonna have a seat on my amethyst crystal. I'm gonna sit right here and relax for a moment. I've made a cup of tea, and yeah, it's a good thing I leave some crumbs on the table because I'm just going to work on a page that's everything is sitting here on the table. You might remember the other day when I was making a page for the little forest troll. Yes, the little forest troll there in the little golden book troll journal. I don't have much in here yet. Yeah, I don't like empty journals. No, I like to see them big and chunky and full of stuff. And I made this fun little interactive troll doll here. And a journaling card about his transformation. And I had cut out the words, the root of the, well, it did say like gypsies and it was talking about eggplants. But I used the letters to make the word trolls. The root of the trolls, because it was like little forest trolls' journey from the flea market to the forest. And that's what stuck in my mind. Yes, it was the root of the trolls, and it was about little forest trolls' journey being rescued from the flea market and coming to Soggy Bottom. So I was going to put that on the next page, and I already glued down this background. I chose these flowers because of the burgundy colors that I put on the background over here. You can see the burgundies there. And I'm just going to glue that caravan down, but then I had decided, oh, let me just find some boho things because it is a gypsy caravan, right? And so I went into the closet and got some trim. Now these are little fringes in different colors. And I figured, well, I'll just add some fringes to the page, maybe across the top. And I'll put the caravan on there. And I've got these little pom-poms. I don't know, I might put those on too. We'll see. Or I can put the fringes toward the bottom and the little pom-poms on the top. Something like that. And then, I don't know, I wanted to give them a little bit more of a background. I wanted the page to be a little bit busier. And so I have this page from my sunflower book with all these sunflowers. And I was like, ooh, I think the caravan might like to park right there in a field of sunflowers. So I'm just going to do a very easy page here. Have a cup of tea. Oh, well, Pixie's reminded me that besides the Renaissance Fair this year, we've gone to 2 country fairs, right? And the big state fair. And the fairy fair. And I didn't even journal about the fairy fair. Yes, we had gone to the fairy fair earlier in the season, and I guess that needs to go into the fairy journal. You're right, Pixie, right. And she said I had never shared what I got at the fairy fair. So I think I'll share with you what I got at the fairy fair. And do a journal page about the little forest troll. And just a heads up, there may be a gnome involved, so come on along. I have 2 things from the fairy fair to share with you. First, I really need a sip of this tea. Yes, it's a long day today. And let's see, the first thing that's in here is a little handmade clay gnome. Isn't he adorable? I love the little mushroom look on the cap. Got a big nose and a gray beard and a green dress. Yes, love this little gnome. Like I don't have enough gnomes, trolls, fairies. There's room for one more. There's always room for more. And there was a special bakery tent, yes, with these magical cookies with enchanted icing on them. And when I saw this cookie, I was like, this mushroom fairy house looks like the cap on this little gnome. So this is my little set here. Let me take it out of the package. I know, glare. Now this is all sealed up. It's been in here for quite a while. I know cookies don't go stale for a while if they're sealed up. So let's see if this is still good. I want to take a picture of it first, though. Let me show you up close. Isn't that adorable? That's a cookie. Look at that. It's like a shortbread cookie. I know it's not gluten-free, but gonna have to have a bite of it anyway. Let me take a picture of it. So this new gnome, he's gonna have to have his own page in the gnome journal. I probably should have made like one journal for all enchanted creatures, yes, instead of everybody having their own. Oh, you know, it started with those fairies. Yes, when those fairies flew over here from the UK, from their fairy godmother, Julia, they came with their own little fairy journals. And well, then all of a sudden, everybody had to have their own journal. Even Flat Stanley has his own journal now, too, yes. All right, so I took a picture of it, and you know, you can't keep it forever because it is a cookie. Well, I guess you could keep it forever. Put it in the freezer, but it smells good. Let's give it a taste test. Ooh. Mm-hmm. It's sweet, it's shortbread, but it's not stale. I'm going to have to save some of this for the fairy so they can have their tea party with it. Not bad for an old cookie. Not bad for an old cookie at all, no. All right, we'll put the cookie aside. Glue a couple things down. You don't mind that I drink my tea, do you? Make room for the tea. Feel like ripping. Well, at the Renaissance Fair, so many people go dressed up. It was amazing. All the costumes. You would think they were like performers at the fair, but they were just regular visitors. Some of their costumes were more elaborate than the actors that put on the shows, yes. And there was lots of music and little shows here and there. My favorite was the lady with the duck. She had this duck that just followed her everywhere. It was amazing. A little duck followed her everywhere. And she was like an acrobat. She went up on the silks and she juggled fire and knives. Jack of all trades, right? But I think her duck was stealing the show, yes. And there was armed combat. Yeah, we sat down and watched the knights duke it out. There was some jousting. We were sitting pretty far away. But they were doing a lot of, games on horseback where the knights would canter their horses down and try to spare the rings or Or you know what? It looked like cornhole. Are you familiar with the cornhole game? Well, they had to pick something up, and then they had to toss their spear into the board, which looked like a cornhole game. You know, where you throw the little bean bag in through the hole. It's a picnic game. There was a parade. There was food. Lots of trinkets to buy. I have enough stuff, really. I didn't buy anything. Yes. Oh, I got my new Walktober calendar for October 2024. This is my favorite thing to glue on. The other one lasted me like a whole year. So I've got to come up with something to put in the journal for the Renaissance Fair. I mean, I could do a fairy page. I took a picture of me and Pixie by the big butterfly wings. So it looks like I have fairy wings. I could put that in the fairy book. But in my regular journal, I need to go down to the magical basement because I think I have some coloring books from the Renaissance Fair in Pennsylvania at Mount Hope. Now that's a Renaissance Fair because they have their own little village there. Now the Connecticut Renaissance Fair, they just rent a space at the fairgrounds. They don't have their own little village, but I think they're saving up to buy something and build a little village. And to tell you the truth, they were only, my goodness, not even like a half an hour away, not even 30 minutes away from Soggy Bottom. And they've been there for 26 years, and I never heard of them. Of course, we've only been here a few years. We were living in Pennsylvania, yes, and we're just back from Pennsylvania. We were down there 22 years. So they started up right after we left Connecticut. But while we were in Pennsylvania, we went to the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. So I like that look. I'm thinking about taking those clouds off so we can see more of the sunflowers in the background. Oh, there was a caravan there. Yes, there was a vendor there who came in a little gypsy caravan. So what else was there? Oh, they had a trebuchet, and they were going to do a dry fire, but I wanted to see them fling something. Oh, I wanted to see them fling something over the fence, but the gentleman was telling us about it, and yeah, he pointed out about how the trebuchet was in really bad shape, and the people they bought it from didn't really take care of it, and they needed to raise some money to refurbish it. See, now when you buy this trim, you're supposed to pull this little white bit off. That is just holding the tassel. See, that comes right off. And then the front of this has that colorful stitching, so it goes this way. So I can fit that many right across. It looked like I cut this one kind of short though. Do I want to cut it and do this? Yeah, I think I do. Because this was cut too close to the edge, but I'll save that for something else. The fairies will probably put that in their journal. They have some tiny, tiny journals. And then cut it over here somewhere. What was amazing at this Renaissance Fair was they let people bring their dogs or pets. I saw a cat, a ferret, and lots of dogs. You couldn't bring your own horse unless you were one of the knights who were jousting. But a lot of people did bring their dogs. I was really surprised because, it's kind of a noisy place with a lot of people around. And, a lot of dogs don't like that. Use the Fabri-Tac to glue that down. Okay, now am I going to put something at the bottom? I might, yes. But instead of having the little pom-poms hang down, I'm going to put them up like that. And then I'll get all this on, then I'll see how much room I have left. Yeah, so it's amazing. You go to the Renaissance Fair, and there are jousting nights and fire juggling acrobats, and musicians, and all these wonderful sights to see. And the thing you can't stop thinking about, the thing that impressed you the most, was this little duck. Oh, well, I guess, awesome Patty. I don't know if everybody else was impressed by the duck as I was, but the duck even marched in the parade. Yes. I think he was just the hit of the whole fair. All right, now I've got those things on there. I can see how much room I have left for the caravan and the horse and the words. Oh, I love this so much better. See, I was just going to glue these things down onto this flower paper, but now I've got boho tassels and pom-poms, and I put strips of sunflower to give it a more textured background. And I cut off this cloudy skies because now we have a sunflower field. All right, so what am I going to start with? What am I going to start with? All right, let's hold those there so we know where they're going to go. So I'm just going to put some glue stick on it because it's a magazine page. And we're just going to put it somewhere like around there. Sorry if it gets a little glary. You know how magazine pages are. Little gypsy pony to pull the caravan. You're going to see a little bit of texture through them because I have the extra paper on the back. And then the words. Well, that is just a fun page in the troll book. See, that gives it a little tiny bit more bulk. I know. Oh, there's my clock. Well, it's only the Oreo clock, but long day for me today. So I think that's going to be it for today. But I've got that page done, and I shared with you my fairy enchanted shortbread cookie, which still tastes pretty good, and my little clay gnome. I wonder what kind of gnome he is. Is this some special mushroom gnome? I'll have to learn about him. Oh, and at the fair, there were mushroom people walking by when we were at one of the shows. I turned around quick and got a little video as they were walking by. Mushroom people. Oh, reminds me of Fantasia, right? When they had the little dancing mushrooms. Now, this sunflower book page came out of this book. I have to leave this open because that Fabri-Tac is wet. I got cheap, what, at the library book sale. Look at that. And I was thinking, I had this in here, of making a sunflower-shaped journal. Oh, I could put a pot of sunflowers on there and just cut around it. Or there was a big sunflower there. Put that sunflower right there. Or have a bigger one. and then cut this in the shape of a sunflower. And then use this to journal about something. I know I have so many journals, but I've been very good. I haven't made anything. Have I? Have I made anything? Well, I'm working on that big lap journal, but that's just a combination of some trashy journals. Having more tea. And I have to make these little mini journals for the fairies out of that washi tape box that's somewhere in this pile. Yes, I do have a couple of journaling projects to do and a lot of journals to journal in. But one of these days, I'm going to be in the mood to make another journal. And this is sitting here. So, sunflower. Let me show you, when I do that, how I use these brochures. You get these at the big box stores, Home Depot, Lowe's. Mr. Possum was looking at doors and, they just have all the doors and windows in here. Nice heavy paper. Makes for a nice journal. So I'm going to take those staples out and then take all the pages out and put back in as many as I want. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 pages, because 4 times 4 is 16. Then I can save these other pages for something else. We'll see. I might put in more. We'll see. But this will be sitting right here for the day I walk into the studio and say, I feel like making another journal. You can make as many journals as you want. Bless you, Mr. Possum. Mr. Possum's nightly sneeze, yes. Well, Pixie and I are pooped. We're going to take a little bit of a rest, finish my tea, and relax for the rest of the evening. But thanks for coming along for just a little journaling sesh. Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.